Happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome to Pupism Session 7. Now, today's August 27th, 2024, and as always, before we start any session, we need hope. Now, just a quick rundown. Hope is an expectation or desire for something to happen. Now, we need that hope for today because we are going to be doing a little overview on the conviction that we learned in our past session, and we are going to be learning about community, more specifically, our inner circle. Today's word of the session is support. Now, most of you probably know what the word support means, but for today, we're learning about community and how to build a team more specifically. So the word support goes hand in hand with today's session. Now, the direct definition of support is a thing that bears the weight of something or keeps it upright. Now, if you remember in our last sessions that we were learning, we were building a conviction, we were building a foundation. So now we're getting a little support. And who doesn't like a little support? Now, just a quick overview on conviction, what we've been learning the past month or so for our pupism. First, we got physicality. Knowing what you're eating, what it does for you, eating good food, being aware of the food you're eating, also exercising daily to make sure that your character in this world is ready to dominate whatever you want to dominate. We also got mentality, right? The mental stuff we learned. Basically more awareness, kind of knowing, if I'm playing Candy Crush, it's not really going to do anything for me, but being aware of it, being aware of what I'm intaking. Is it good for me? Is it bad for me? What's my brain learning? Making sure you get all the bad habits out, at least be aware of them and then try to slowly get it down. Then we also got our spirituality, which is mostly our answers, our guidance, knowing how to go deep inside of us and try to understand more of things that we don't understand about ourselves, right? Because if we don't do it, who's going to do it, right? And today we're going to be learning about how to build a team, how to build your own little community, because support is very important to a foundation, right? What is a foundation if you're not going to build anything above it, right? We're trying to build some crazy shit. So basically, we're going to be learning how to get our support beams. So basically, we've learned the key of our inner selves, of our foundation, a healthy routine that you take with you daily, with a mind, exercise, spirituality. But that is not the only things you need to conquer life, right? We're going to take the next step now because we need a support system. Everywhere around you, when you want to go conquer the world, you need a group of people that understand and on the same page as you. Now, a good example of this is Dana White, I think he might be a billionaire by now, but the UFC owner, he had the thing he always says, right? I don't even know him. I don't really watch UFC, but when I watched a podcast about him, he's always giving props to his team. He says he's an amazing team. They're built correctly. And that's what you need. You need a group of people around you that are kind of like bouncing the energy, right? Making a huge ass little spirit. I don't know if you guys ever played Mario Super Striker Charge, I think, on the Wii. But it's like passing that ball to the teammates, The more energy you get, that more powerful the shot's going to get. So what we need to do is we need to form a strong team, a healthy team. The same way we built a strong, healthy routine to ourselves, we need to be aware of how to be a good leader, a good teammate, a good partner. Now, what we're going to be going over today is what is a team? Why is it important? How to form one and who is fit, right? Because before we even tell you how to get a team, we should probably understand and learn what a team exactly is. So what exactly is a team? Okay, before I tell you the definition, I'll just go to a brief overview, simplified overview, okay? Basically, a team is a collective, a group of individuals that collectively have a goal in mind. A group of individuals that have similar interests, similar goals in life, and they form and they bounce back on each other. They work together to get there, right? So an individual, if you have a plan, you just won. But if a team, you could make 3 people, 5 people, 7 people into one, right? If you guys are all putting your energy, your effort into one thing together, right? It's kind of like a project, like a group project. I would say a team is a place of home, a place of where you are with your individuals, you are with the people, and you feel a place of home because you are comfortable. You know the people they are, and you could just completely be free because they fuck with you, you fuck with them, and like there's nothing that you're hiding from them, Like those are your people. Now, a team could be friends, could be family. Friends are a little tougher because they have an aspect where they could betray you if you don't choose the right person. Family members are more insured because they're bloodline, so their people, they know your people. So, there's still betrayal, which is even a lot worse, but, We got examples of teams. We got sports teams like the Lions. We got teams like gangs are teams. They're a kind of form of team. Politics, those are teams, like left versus right. So, yeah, there's a lot of... The thing is, it's hard to conquer the world by yourself. You need a group of people that understand what's going on. So the direct definition of a team is a group of players forming one side in a competitive game or sport. Now that sounds more like it's aimed towards sports, but if you look at it as a life, like life is a game, it's a group of players, aka citizens, aka people, forming together to try to win the game of life. Now, why is it important to have a team? Well, humans are social creatures. We are meant to be around other humans and evolving together. We are not really individual species. Now, I could give you an example of this. Have you ever been having a tough day and then you go with the homies and right away your energy's lifted up? It's because we feed off of each other's energy, you know? And usually when you're with the homies or your boys or whoever the people you're out with, usually they're happy to see you. So their energy is lifted up right there too. So it's important because sometimes we have days where we're individuals and it's hard to, it's just a tough day. Maybe it's gloomy out or something just off, something happened tragic. And you need that those arms open, you need that home feeling to help you get up, because sometimes you could slip into a little hole and you can't find a way out. You need a little hand to pick you up, Sometimes the hole's a little deep, it's a little muddy, and you'd be slipping. Another reason it's important to be part of a team is because in the future, we will have an ultimate team. The ultimate team of our life, which basically is our future family. Now, I think it's very important to have practice of being with a team, being with a little small group of community, leader, follower, understanding the roles of what's going on before you get into that stage. Because what happens when you dip into a team for the first time, into your family, and you don't know how to lead, you don't know how to listen, you don't know what jobs got to be done, who should do this, who should do that, you know what I mean? If there was a fight between these group of people, we got the one homie and then we got three homies, who do you think is gonna win? Usually the case of the matter is a collective group of people, especially if they're well focused and trained, dominates, especially individuals, but smaller groups of people who are not focused or they don't got principles to their teams. They're part of something, but they don't really understand it or they don't practice the conviction of their team. So being part of a collective group in your life moving forward, and then as time goes on, the bond gets stronger, understanding gets stronger, and the levels start growing up, it gets crazy. The truth is sometimes numbers even beat skill. Like one black belt in karate, can he beat 5 goons that aren't really trained but they're just a little rough? Maybe not, but the fact that one person who's an expert at something could lose to people who aren't experts, but they just got more numbers, more hands that's going through. What group would you rather be part of? The one person fighting 5, or the 5 person that wouldn't fight 1? Like, why would you do that? But it could be like telling your homies, chip. Most of the time, a focused and well-trained group of collective individuals dominate smaller numbers of groups or individuals that are experts at their craft. That is just because you have multiple brains, multiple angles and subjects that are going into things, while one person only has kind of one point of view. They only got their salt. But if you got a team, you got different sauce to bring to the table, you got different sauce to bring to the food, you're gonna make some concoction. But if you only got one point of view, the flavor might be just directed in one way. And this is important because this is something you can't do by yourself. And I call it the third person point of view. If I had some shit on my back, like not literally symbolically, but if I had some shit on my back, I would want my homie that I trust be like, yo, Harry, you got some shit in your back. I'd be like, good looking. It's impossible for me to see just because I'm my own individual and this is the only thing I see and this is the only thing you see. Sometimes you need that person that sees you doing something to tell you, yo, you could do this a little better, or your form isn't right. You don't really feel it, you don't really see it because you're not looking at yourself. You only got this point of view. And even sometimes, you go down a little tunnel where you think you're doing something right, but in retrospectively, it's not really the correct decisions. Good teammates check you up. They're like, yo, what are you doing with this? Why are you acting like this? Why are you treating this person like that? They check you up because they care about you and they want you to be the best person. But if you're like stuck in yourself and you're just thoughts recycling by yourself and you're not spinning out what you think and then not getting feedback by someone you trust, sometimes it could lead you down a dark path and maybe like a narcissistic path. And you don't really want to be that type of person. You want to be someone who's social, understanding humans, because this is humanity and we are a species. That we aren't here to achieve anything just for ourselves. We are here to win as a collective. So how exactly do you form a team? Well, first you need to find individuals that have similar interests as you and have a goal in the future that they want to reach that are similar to yours. If they align correctly to you, and I'm not meaning exactly how you are, but just kind of like if you had to throw a dart, they're pretty close to where you want to be, then you should probably become their friend. Go talk to them, see what's up. If you fuck with them, they fuck with you. You link up more and you guys start talking, you just start getting closer, right? Most people learn how to get friends through growing up in childhood. We kind of learned before, like they're in our area, so we fucked with them just because we felt that. Now that we're a little older, we kind of need a more direction with our friends. You know what I mean? Because if you're with your friends and you guys are just chilling all the time, it's cool. Like don't get me wrong, that's very cool. But I feel like you at a certain point you want to start conquering, you want to start winning something, right? If you're always chilling, you're not really winning. you're accepting just being stagnant, which is kind of losing in my point of view. You want a group of friends that are willing to win because you want to start from wherever you are, the bottom. Let's say you're at the bottom, and you want to reach the top with the motherfuckers you with, you know what I mean? Now, when forming a team, you have to understand that there are characteristics or traits that are important for a healthy team. And when I say team, this could be relationship, this could be family, this could be your homies, this could be a workforce, you know what I mean? Whatever station it is. What you need is loyalty, you need respect, and you need trust. Now, respect is very important because if someone's telling me something, right, and I don't respect him, am I gonna even care, right? Because like if he says some shit and I don't believe him because I don't respect him, then what's the point of him even communicating and interacting with me? It's important that there's respect for every single person and understanding, you know what I mean? We got trust because, you know what I mean, that's without even saying anything. Like, imagine going into something with someone and then you turn around and they got the Among Us, you know, the vent pointing the knife at you, bro. Like, that's tough. That's probably one of the hardest feelings for a male, you know what I mean? That betrayal, you know, cheating and shit, all that. So that's why it's important that we practice our human reading skills, because, you know, sometimes people slip up, sometimes people slip through the cracks, but you got to be able to find that. You got to be able to see through all that. This also goes hand in hand with honesty, you know what I mean? Like, why would I not be honest or tell you how I think as an individual to the whole group, right? It's about that confidence too, that you need to be able to be willing to share what you think, even if it's opposing the rest of the people's, you know, mind. Because it's important to throw values and opinions out there that you guys fight over, just so you make sure you cover every section and you get the answer that you're looking for correctly, 100% correctly. And loyalty, man, like, you already know, like, you can't fuck with no hoes. Hoes be going in, out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you fucking with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm 8, you know, that means you're only giving me 9% of what you're showing everybody else. You know, if you're equally fucking with other people, it's like, I need you as 100% because I'm going to bring 100% to the table. You know what I mean? I'm bringing my plate to the table. If you only bring in a side, you know what I mean? Like, and you bring in sides, you know, you bring in sides or you bring in meals to other people's tables. So I'm like, hold on. How about instead of putting that energy to those people, we form some big shit right here. We form a big dinner right here. You know what I mean? You want someone who is willing to line up with you, you know, before you enter the door, before you enter the game, before you enter anything. You look left to you, you look right to you, and you're ready to go because you respect, you have loyalty, and you trust these motherfuckers. So whatever situation is going to happen with you guys, whatever happens to any of you guys, you know that your homies, you know, your squad members will be right there with you to the end. Now, of course, this takes time to develop. You know, this is part of relationship bonds, because if you meet someone with a similar interest, you kick it off with them for a month, you know, it's cool. That doesn't really necessarily, you got their max respect, max loyalty, their max trust, you know. So like as everything I say, take it slow, don't nothing crazy, keep it cool, you know what I mean? But yeah, it takes time to really, you know, like level up. Just the same thing as like your body, you know. If you've been working out for a month, you probably see slight changes, but you're not like the poster boy you're trying to be, you know what I mean? It takes time with relationships and bonds to grow together, right? It's kind of like a garden. Before in the pupism, we were focused on our own plant. Now we're looking for a garden of plants to be together, collectively growing together, right? So it takes a little bit of time, but make sure that it's the same people and make sure they never change, bro. If they're changing this and that often and often, you know what I mean? That's like that's not a trait you want, to be honest. Now, with that being said, that does not mean that they cannot have other friends or other outlets or other interests, you know, other things that they like doing. That doesn't mean that Messi doesn't practice at his own to go play, you know, the weekend game with his whole team. We are all individuals, right? How before we were learning how to increase ourselves like a soul plant, like we're one plant. Now we're looking how to build a nice garden, right? People around us that you fuck with that are kind of similar to you, that you want to be with, and you guys grow together, right? So if they have other interests, other friends, it's cool. But basically, the form of a team is, you know, this is our shit. This is what we rep. And priorities in the team is very important, right? If I'm giving 100% to my team, and I got a member that's only giving 20%, is that fair? What do you think? Probably not, right? If you got one member, you know, 3 members doing 100 to 80%, and then you got some that slacks, just comes in and then he's just kind of chilling, just kind of there. You know what I mean? You need everybody on the same page. Now for me, I personally like that everyone has equal value. You know, someone's not here because of that. Someone's fine with that because he's that. I think that everyone in the team should be equal because, you know, we are all humans. Like, you might have this, you might have that, but at the same time, we're all eating the same dinner. You know, we're all on the same garden. This plant might be purple, which looks cool. This plant might be a little smaller and just green. But at the same time, we formed a garden. So it's all cool. We should all be equal. Okay, so now we know what a team is, why it's important, and how to even form one. So now the question is, who is fit for a team? And this is kind of a simple answer. I just got one line, one answer for everything, because I think this is the most important aspect when you're choosing somebody who you want to be by your side. And that is people who you want to spend your time, your energy, and your life with. When you want to go to the grocery store, you got to go to a carnival, you got a fair, you're going out, you call them up because if they make you feel good, you know, they're your homie, or they're just your partner, you know what I mean? Now, this is a double-edged sword because it's very important that they are equally into you. Like, they give you the same respect that you give them. If you really trying to fuck with them, you inviting them out, and then they're just like slouching it off, you know what I mean? It's not a fair trade. The same thing I was saying earlier, how 100% given to a team and you got someone giving 20%, you know, that's not really fair. So you gotta make sure that you guys are on the same page. But ultimately, when it comes down to skill, everything could be taught, right? If someone's having trouble, you know, they're kind of bombing the team, their skills or like what they do, they're having trouble with it. Everyone could grow up in that. What I'm looking for more when you're choosing someone for a team is kind of reading their spirit. Like, their energy is good for you. You bounce off their energy. You give good energy to them. You guys are just kind of creating, like I said, like you got creating a fucking spirit bond together, you know what I mean? You go in a circle and just growing that spirit together. Because imagine if we tapped into 100% of our spirit, right? That would be crazy. But now imagine you got 5 people with you and you guys are all going, that's 500%. And that's the thing I also want to talk about. 2 will always be better than 1. 2 will always be better than 1. But -2 is a lot less than 1. Now think about that. 2 brains can outsmart, you know what I mean? Like, we talk about how powerful our brain is, how powerful a human is. 2 humans will always be 1. But if you have -2 humans, and that's what the saying goes, like, one bad fruit could ruin the whole batch. You know what I mean? Like, there is negativity. The same way you guys bounce off good energy, negative energy could disrupt a lot of planning, could disrupt a lot of, you know, a lot of action that's trying to go down. Negative energy could poison the water you guys are trying to build. You know what I mean? It only takes 1 bucket of oil to fuck up a lake. So be careful when you choose people, because some people like to play around. But the good thing is it's pretty easy to find people like that. You know what I mean? It's pretty easy to notice that someone got some type of something's off, and then you just kind of realize it. So just make sure you keep your distance. You know, I'm not saying that they're a bad person or anything. You know, maybe you could help them out, or you could, as a friend, you could tell them straight up. You know, check them up, be like, yo, I don't really understand why you do this and that, and then see how the response is. If it's a healthy response, you know, he could probably work on it. You know, work on a relationship, or just give him that third person point of view, like I was saying. But if they're just toxic, you know what I mean? Toxic water is toxic water. But it's very important to point out too, like I said, everyone is equal in a group, but that does not mean that people don't have their own jobs. You know what I mean? I look at a chessboard, right? You have a collective, both teams or both players have their collective chessboard. A pawn has a different job from a horse. A queen does a lot different shit than a king. But how do you measure their value? Okay, you give more to this group, but it's more about the energy and the intention behind it, I believe. But that's also what makes teams so valuable. Because if I'm trying to edit a video, right? If I gotta film a video, I gotta download the thing, and I gotta edit it, and then I gotta upload it. You know, that's just 4 steps, 4 basic steps. But imagine you had 4 people that had to deal with 1 step. Now you could do all 4 at once. And that's what teams are very efficient, because now you got, go do this, go do that, go do this, get that. And then you come together like a dinner, you know what I mean? You got a chicken, so maybe someone bakes the whole chicken, somebody bakes a side of rice, some mac and cheese, you know what I mean? Some greens. You know what I mean? Maybe the greens aren't as popular as the big chicken, but it's still important, because without the greens, you know what I mean, we're missing greens. So it's important to understand your spot. We have leaders in this world and we have followers. Just because you're a follower doesn't mean that you're not important. It's very important for groups and leaders to have followers because you need people to understand and do their handwork. You know what I mean? We got people who could see the visions and we got people who could create it very good. Both of them are very huge aspects of a team. So I recommend when you're making a team that you put value in the team. You know, you understand, you analyze the value of a team. You know, what am I bringing to this team? What am I good at? So what should I do here? You know what I mean? It's kind of like we look at a family, like the little kid could go wash the dishes. The parents could go cook the food. You know what I mean? The older sibling could clean the house. You know what I mean? It's like all these little jobs, you know, but they all got to get done. You know, they all got to get done. You know, they all got to get done. Now, we have created our own conviction, our own foundation for our individual self. But when you are becoming a group, like I put earlier in the whiteboard, one person could be one, 3 people could equal 1. So now you need your own team foundation. You know, you need your own like hard ground, you know, the line where your team builds up and where you do not cross. Now, I recommend, because I don't really have a team yet, so I you know, I don't really get that. I don't got my hands-on experience yet, but I recommend uniqueness, right? You guys got your own name, you got your own spot. You know, you be chilling in the car, or you got little Denny's that you be going to every Saturday, some shit. You know, you guys meet up and have a good time, whatever. You know, you got a little handshake, whatever. You know what I mean? Just become your own little group of people. You know what I mean? We got principles too. I recommend that people have the similar values because you don't want to judge somebody, right? If someone's doing something in front of you that you really don't fuck with, but they're supposed to be part of your team, you know, I feel like it kind of creates a little rift. So you kind of want people who have similar principles as you know what I mean, kind of values. Because at the end of the day, a teammate represents the team. You know, when in soccer, if you get a red card, bro, your team got 10 players now. And you got to fight 11 other players. So, like, you represent the team. And then for everything in life, but teams especially, is honesty. You know what I mean? If you fuck up, the first place you're probably going to go to tell someone, you know, if you need help, it's probably your team. If you're in a situation or anything like that, you got to be completely honest. Because if I say, yo, I just hit someone, right? I just hit someone in my car. And then you pull up with the homie because you're trying to see what's happening, trying to calm the situation down. And then you get shot, you know, because he didn't tell you he hit like a gang member or some shit. You know what I mean? Like it's clips. So you gotta be completely honest, especially when shit is not clean, especially when shit is not. It's hard to say out loud, but it's very important that you keep the honesty, because if I'm being honest with somebody, it gives them influence that they're gonna be honest with everybody else, right? If someone starts a domino, it's probably gonna go boom boom. Okay, he was confident enough and he trusts me enough to share this piece of experience or piece of opinion with me. Maybe I should bounce it back with him. You know what I mean? It's all practice though. You know what I mean? I've been on several teams. I've been a captain of my high school team. Knowing the values of people, understanding how people are, communication, trust, loyalty, all that is super important. Because collectively, if you have 5 people and you guys are trying to become one, right? 5 people, one group, then you got to be on the same page with everything. You know what I mean? Because you're representing each other. You look at big groups like the Sidemen, you know, like AMP or fucking Mr. Beast. Everyone got their own little, you know what I mean? Kai might be top dog, but that doesn't mean the other homie, I don't know his name, but it doesn't mean the other homie's not as important. You know what I mean? So it's just important to keep that all in line. Now, I'll give you an example of what I see kind of a bad team is when I be watching Andrew Schultz a little bit, his little podcast, and he be kind of like over talking his friends. I feel like they can't really tell him the exact truth or opinion, or they're just like wired a little bit differently. You know, I don't want to speak on people I don't know. This is what I see from a podcast, and I don't really think that's the correct way of forming a team, because sure, he might be the head of the group, but at the same time, they're individuals, they're a group. So if you're bringing them with you, you should be confident enough that they have their own voice. You know, instead of you speaking over them, instead of you thinking, okay, I bring in more of this, or I add more value to the group, so I'm more important. I don't really believe in that, because, you know, like, we're all humans at the end of the day. Like, who cares if you got more of this? Who cares if you got all that? We're all one. We're all one. Especially when I be like, I be playing FIFA or like in soccer, everyone wants to get like the wingers are like fast and they got good dribble, good shot. The strikers are fast, they got, you know, tall and shot, and then the midfielders got to be good at everything, high. Not necessarily, bro. A lot of people get it wrong because they see the numbers and the stats and it looks like it makes sense. What really matters is what you bring to the team, right? You could have a player, like a shitty player that looks shitty on paper or shitty on FIFA, but he starts every game. you should ask yourself, why is he starting every game? What value is he bringing to the team? Maybe he's just that stability. Maybe he's just the mental, like he's the captain, like telling them boom, 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 and they listen to him because they trust him. You know what I mean? Everyone has different skills. It's important that you evaluate what the values everybody is so that you can put them in the right position, right? Imagine putting Messi at left back or like center back. You know, no one would ever do that. But like, imagine like LeBron was like 6'6", right? So he was like, I'm gonna play goalie. You know what I mean? Instead of playing basketball. You know, you gotta understand where to put these people at so you get the best result. Because ultimately, you guys are trying to grow together, look, you know, be the best looking garden or whatever goals you have. And it doesn't have to be anything big. It could just be having a, you know, going to a vacation or like being the best team in a rec league or something like that, or like family. You know, just being content, making sure everything is straight, everything is stable. You know what I mean? That doesn't be anything crazy like conquering the world, but there's a lot to do in this life, man. You know, there's a lot to do in this life. And if you got 10 bags around you that you got to carry to the next state, the next state, the next state, you know what I mean? It's a lot easier if you got more hands than just two, you know what I mean? Evaluate and equate over there and give some over this and give that, you know what I mean? That's the most important part of a team, the most important part of having a team. So that's basically it for today's session. You know, kind of like probably a short little session, but inner community. We'll probably be learning more about passion next week. Probably the community, like town-wise, or you know, just people around you, neighborhood shit. But yeah, for me, for the homies, you know, I mean, you guys are all, everyone's dismissed from the sesh. But for the homies, just a little quick checkup on the King Pup. You know what I mean, King Pup. I've been alright. You know what I mean. I got my hair cut. I'm finally clean again. I'm finally smooth again. Just been doing my thing. I've been seeing some people recently. I saw my nephew. You know, it gives you good vibes. Sometimes when you're so alone for a long time, you know what I mean? Because I'm not very, I don't find a lot of people that I relate to or that I really fuck with like that, right? I never even like, I feel like I never even really had like a best friend in life. Like someone that's like, other than my current girlfriend right now, but never someone that I'm just like down to do anything with, anywhere, anytime, you know what I mean? Just like a little sidekick, you know, like Batman and Robin, but I'm gonna try to find people with similar interests, you know what I mean, similar goals, hang out with them, because I need to be a little more social, because it's good for your health, it's good for your spirits, good for your energy, good for everything like that, you know what I mean. You can't do it all on yourself. I mean, some people might be able to because they're just built different, but I would recommend, I've always thought like, I always had ideas of things I knew that could be good. But when I think about it, it's like, why would I just do it by myself, right? What if I get to the top by myself? I feel like that wouldn't be fun at all. I feel like it's growing something with a team or a group of people I really fuck with. Start from the bottom, get to the top, everything cool. But yeah, other than that, it's been pretty cool, you know what I mean? I'm still working out, never miss a day of pup, never. Cooking, eating good, just all that shit, you know what I mean? So write down your license plate down below. Tell me your journey so far. Do you guys already have a team? Experiences with a team? Do you guys have people in mind already, or do you guys find new people? Finding new people is a little harder, just because after school, you gotta find people in public that you fuck with, which could be a little harder. But I think it's also gonna be fun. You know what I mean? I think it'll be really fun. That's about it, man. It's a little short pupism today, a little community, but very important that support. You know what I mean? We got the foundation. We building something huge. We can't let that shit just fall down. You know what I mean? Teams make sure it's held together. Strong as a unity. You know what I mean? Unity. But yeah, peace out, man. Happy Tuesday. Go do your thing.